Hey, it's Bill Russell. I'm here in my yellow hat. I wore it at Vive and HIMSS to signify our partnership with Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation and the search for cures and to combat childhood cancer. I'm just blown away by the generosity of our community. With the help of our partners, SureTest, Rackspace, CTG, and some of you giving individually, we were able to raise close to $40,000 at those two events. It is just exceptional. And I would like to thank all of you who have joined us in this cause. If you would like to be a part of it as well, go ahead and hit our page, thisweekhealth.com. You can go to the top blue banner that is on our homepage and click on that to give today. Thank you again for being a part of this effort and this cause. Today in Health IT, a unicorn disappears in health tech. My name is Bill Russell. I'm a former CIO for a 16-hospital system and creator of This Week Health, a set of channels and events dedicated to transform healthcare one connection at a time. We want to thank our show sponsors who are investing in developing the next generation of health leaders: SureTest, Artisight, Parlance, Certify Health, Notable, and ServiceNow. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. If you haven't, check out thisweekhealth.com/news. We've put a news service out there. It's not really live yet. I'm really looking for feedback. So you are early adopters, early release adopters. If you get a chance to take a look at it, let me know what you think. Provide me feedback. You can DM me or whatever you normally do. The concept's pretty simple. It's a site that is curated by industry experts, and it only pulls in the news that are relevant to you in health IT, and you can find it all in one place. So check it out. Let me know. One last thing, share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Use it as a foundation for daily or weekly discussions on the topics that are relevant to you and the industry. They can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, our story for today is another fallen unicorn. Olive AI sells assets to wind down. I'm pulling this from Modern Healthcare. Of course, that requires a subscription, so I'll give you a little idea of what's in the article. Olive AI, a company that was once a unicorn and valued at $4 billion, has sold its remaining assets and is winding down operations. The company, which developed technology to help providers and insurers automate the revenue cycle, sold its patient access software product to Waystar and its prior authorization business to Umeda Health. Olive said Tuesday in a post on its website. Terms of the deals were not disclosed. Representatives from Olive, Waystar, and Umeda did not immediately respond. Waystar's parent company, Waystar Holdings, filed a registration statement October 16th with the SEC related to the proposed initial offering. Waystar has said it will go public as soon as possible. And the deal represents the final chapter in what's been a significant fall from grace for Olive. In December of 2020, it received $225 million from Tiger Global, valued at $1.5 billion. 7 months later, July of 2021, it received $400 million in a round led by investment firm Vista Equity Partners that brought its valuation to $4 billion. Olive AI laid off 450 employees in July of 2022 as CEO Sean Lake cited strategic missteps in a challenging economy. It cut another 250 jobs in February. In October 2022, the company sold its population health and 340B product lines to Rotera, a healthcare artificial intelligence company, so it could focus on revenue cycle management. It sold its utilization management solution to Availity in April. Olive is the latest example of digital health unicorn when investors value companies at more than $1 billion going bust. Digital therapeutics company Pear Therapeutics filed in April, and Babylon went bankrupt after a proposed deal to go private fell through. Those are just some of the things that are being said. Here's my so what on this. This is going to be a pretty short episode if I thought about it. My so what on this is they got caught in the transition, right? They got caught in a downturn in the economy. They had raised a ton of money. Their valuation was high. They had a significant portfolio of companies they were doing business with. So it was not like they didn't have clients. They didn't have profitability. And they got caught at a time when all these organizations were switching to profitability is more important than growth. And they were a growth company. Everything about them was a growth company. They invested in marketing heavily. They bought a purple bus. They went from health system to health system and gave out lunches and stuff to employees. They spent a lot of money. It was the old model of grow at all costs. And you can't just turn that off, especially in something that's really midstream. at the $4 billion valuation mark, they were actually probably beyond midstream. They were pretty far down the road. And this could have happened to a lot of companies. Now, we can argue over the management. We can argue over the investments and should you have a purple bus and all those things. And I'm sure all those things will be talked about. I think those are ancillary conversations. This is what happens when the market shifts on you and you're mid-cycle. And some of the organizations that are mid-cycle at this point and the market shifts on them, they're just not going to make it, period. There is no getting out of it. Selling off its components for value in order to pay back some of their investors is probably their only move at that point. Could Olive have been saved? I don't know. I don't know where their product was. I heard some good things. I heard some bad things about their product set. Their data was valuable. I don't know if their AI was really valuable. It's really hard to say at this point, but I will say that this is just a great example of the organizations that were grow at all costs had to shift, and very few of them have been able to make that shift to profitability. And most organizations that are raising money today have their investors essentially telling them profitability. And so that's the name of the game today. And if we're buying, if I'm talking to healthcare providers right now, if you're out there buying, or if you got caught up in the Olive, downturn. If you get caught up in the Olive downturn, the good news is they sold off components of it to other players, and you have some new partners that you have to sit down with and find out how they're going to continue servicing you as a client. You lost the platform that is Olive, but you may have gained a new valuable partner. So that's where you're going to start. But if you are looking at different technologies and startups and those kinds of things and doing those evaluations that we all have to do, the name of the game is profitability. How close or far are they from it? You have to look at their pipeline. You have to look at them like an investor, because you are an investor. If you're buying their technology, if you're implementing their technology, you are investing in their company, and you're placing a trust factor in that company to be around in 10 years. So it's incumbent upon you to evaluate, will they be around in 10 years? Do they have a pipeline? Do they have a strong value proposition? Do they deliver on their value proposition? And to the extent that you can, help them to make sure that they're around 10 years from now and introduce them to other players and other partners in the industry. I see a lot of CIOs doing that, and some people get a little upset with CIOs. They feel like, hey, they're pushing those companies. But that's part of the job. Part of the job is to make sure that your investments are solid and good investments. And the best way to do that is to ensure that they have a future. And you can help to make that happen. All right, that's all for today. Don't forget to share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Keep the conversations going. We want to thank our channel sponsors who are investing in our mission to develop the next generation of health leaders: SureTest, Artisight, Parlance, Certify Health, Notable, and ServiceNow. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.